What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Kickin with Kachi, powered by the DC Voice. I'm your host, Kachi, and today, we have the owner and lead designer of SINCESIX Collective. What is going on, Jack and Ben? Nice to meet you guys and kicking with me. Thank you again for coming into my personal studio.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate having us on. I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, thank you for having us, man.
Of course. And if you guys don't know, SINCESIX Collective is not just a fashion brand for the future. It also is a major think tank for creatives all around, all alike. What is the origin story behind SINCESIX Collective? I'm pretty sure a lot of people are falling into that alliteration trap. But what is the origin story behind the brand, and how do we get to where we are today?
Yeah. So ever since a young age, I feel like we've always had this kind of entrepreneur mindset. We've always done like these passion projects. I mean, even going back to elementary in like 5th grade, we had a YouTube channel. That was one thing, but the idea of a clothing brand that actually started around that time too. In like 5th grade, I remember it was called Legacy Clothing. Nothing really came out of that, but I just remember like making designs, and to me, I've always had a passion for like design and all that. But yeah, like me and Jack, we've always been like, wanting to do something like greater.
And the big thing, like, people always ask us, like, what does SINCESIX mean? Like, what's the meaning behind it? So me and Ben, we go way back. Like, we've known each other since we were 6 years old. And the big meaning is we actually started our first YouTube channel when we were 6. So that's kind of like when the SINCESIX comes. Because, we never, like, not dissing 9 to 5, we never had, like, I want to work this job. Like, it's always like, I want to run my own business. I want to do this. So, like, we've always had that mindset. And, like, I feel like, I would say for me, the past like 2 years, I've been really like focusing on like doing side hustles. Like my sophomore year, I'm a senior right now in high school. I did e-commerce and like drop shipping my sophomore year, day trading, all that. But last summer, I was like, Ben, like this is our dream. Like we've always wanted to start a clothing brand. So we really like, took it serious, bought a MacBook, everything, been designing, promos, been meeting people. So we've been really focused these past years, and we're just ready to launch and show what we can do.
And you guys are young guys, right? You guys are in high school, I presume. You guys said you're seniors in high school. And obviously, you guys are doing a lot of things that a lot of people, I'm 25 now, even my age, people my age, are still afraid to do. So what was it about the timing? Was it just feeling right at the time? Even though you guys are so young, still in high school, a lot of people feel like you haven't experienced the world yet. But for you guys, obviously, it felt right. Why did it feel so right to create this brand and create this collective at this point in time?
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked that. So me and him, we're not like the best school students. Like school is not for us. So we knew we had to find a way out. And that's when we were like, all right, bro, we got to start making money. We got to do our own stuff, make a business. So like, we were like, all right, like you said, like we started this clothing brand last year, like, started designing all that. I was like, all right, bro, like it's time to like actually take this serious and like show what we can do. So that's kind of like why we start so young. And like these ages, like it's important because most people our age are out like partying, drinking, smoking, like not focusing on the future. If we start young, we're ahead of the game. Like, what I'm saying? We're ahead of everyone.
Which is important. I would say like it's and sorry to Ben if I'm cutting you off. Are you
Oh no, you're good.
Okay, so I was gonna say, and getting into now building a business, right? What sort of steps did you guys have to take? And I'm hoping that as people are listening, that in the same predicament, same age, same demographic, or even the same ideas and trying to follow the same passion can take some, some gems for this as well. But what sort of steps did you guys have to learn and implement into your plan to really take your idea and, putting in fruition?
Yeah, I think it's always just taking action on whatever idea you have. A lot of people, they second guess the ideas they have. They might look at their parents might like be critiquing it, their peers, they might be scared of people think.
Yeah.
But honestly, like to me, like Jack kind of gave me the confidence to like go out there and actually like try this. Like that's why I think we work so well together. But yeah, it's just like acting on every idea that you have, because you never know like just how far it can take you.
Yeah, I think a big thing I did was I think it was like my 8th grade year, like during like the COVID year when like, there was nothing to do. I started watching a lot of videos of like how to make money off these side hustles. So I remember the first ever like job I did was just like cut people's grasses, like kind of like those stuff, like kind of working on my own, making some money. And then the money I made from like when I did that, I put it into drop shipping, that was when it really opened my mind. I was like, bro, like I'm working like 2 to 3 hours a day and I'm making like $2,000 a week. Like it's just crazy. So I feel like that's like a big thing that opened my eyes. And like I said, like the biggest step of a business is like what Ben said, taking action. Like right when you think of an idea, don't second guess it, bro. Don't listen to any of your peers, nothing. Like if you think it's a good idea, bro, just trust yourself. Literally just trust yourself, bro. That's like the biggest thing you need to like, run a business, to be honest.
Yeah. It's
and running.
Yeah, my fault. It's not always like the first idea is gonna work, but we've done everything. We were cleaning trash cans. I had an idea of starting like an agency online. There's a lot of things. It's kind of like just finding out what's right for you. But I think like we found the right thing.
And I
So
would
yeah,
say, like, in creating a business that's built on friendship, right? Like, you do have to now get into all these titles of owner and designer.
Yeah.
How did the business side or the personal side, how did those two mesh or not mesh? How well did each one kind of aid each other as you guys are building the business? As you guys know, you guys have been friends since Sandbox days.
Yeah. So
yeah,
honestly, I really don't think it has affected us yet. Oh, I don't think it ever will. Cause like I'm telling, like I'm not trying to flex our friendship. Like there's no other friendship like that. Like we were basically brothers from like another mother. So even like we're getting the business side, like our friendship is still there, and it just will not affect anything.
yeah. I think no matter what, we're always gonna keep each other accountable. Like I make sure he's doing whatever, and yeah, it's always just like it's that bond. Yeah,
And I would say it seems like, from what it seems like, you guys are two sides of one brain, right? Like Jack
Yeah.
seems to be the right side, and then Ben seems to be the left side with the creativity. Is that kind of also help knowing that you do have a right hand, left hand man that you
Yeah.
can't trust to, hey, this guy is really great with design. This
Yeah.
guy is really great at getting to the sales tables and talking to individuals and networking. Is that kind of also helping in tandem and having other people kind of, leave it up to them to fulfill other roles for the business?
Yeah, I think
yeah,
for us, like I'm really good at like connecting with people, like you said. Like I get us a bunch of connections, like you, Dominic, always like high entrepreneurs I know that I met from me like drop shipping. And it's good because like this man, I promise you, he's gonna be up in designing. He's got crazy ideas. And for me, like using like my kind of followers and like getting him like the notice he deserves is just key. So like he's gonna design the greatest clothes ever, and I'm just gonna put it out there and promote it.
yes, sir.
And now getting into the clothes, right? Season one, we got a lot of people really when it gets to the clothing, really is starting off with maybe one or two pieces, right? Maybe a shirt, a hoodie, possibly a shirt and a hoodie. You guys are coming out with a whole collection. How
Yeah.
did sort of season one come to be? What's the story behind it? What sort of story and messaging are you trying to push with this new collection?
I think it's really just an introduction. I haven't put my full like 100% into it yet because I think that like starting a clothing brand, I think you should like not that you shouldn't innovate and like try your own thing, but we're trying to like follow the trends slightly to like give us that like exposure and then really start innovating. But like right now it's just simple, like it's catching the feel of the brand, like with the sixes and all that. But I think later on, I really want to start like connecting it back to the main idea of the clothing brand. What Jack was saying when we were six and like we're doing all this stuff in this bond that we have. But yeah, it's just like simple logo hoodies and all that. Just like keeping it simple for now.
And then in terms of one creating now like these designs, how would you sort of say you think is your best asset in sort of pushing this brand out here with clothing, right? Because as you said, like it is a trend right now. We wear now the baggy clothes, the hoodies, the sweatsuits. What sort of techniques and methods are you guys adopting and implementing in your brand strategy to kind of get yourself out there and get yourself that exposure to get those looks?
Yeah. So for me, I don't know. I hope no one like bites this, but I always look at the trends like in fashion. Like I think a lot of times they're like harking back to like the old days and they take like styles back. Like you see like the Y2K trends.
Right, right, right.
Like you were saying like the baggy jeans and like all this stuff. So I think the next wave is gonna be like 2010s. So I'm gonna try to bring back like the early 2010s kind of style, like off white and all that stuff. So like
Right, right.
I'm always just thinking in the future, like how can I innovate in the future, like all that. Mhm.
And do you guys have favorite pieces from this collection of your
Yeah.
own? Do you guys have any pieces that you guys personally are like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah,
the
for
one?
sure. I'm telling you, our zip ups, bro, are gonna be the main sell. Our zip ups and
Okay.
those are gonna get like a lot of sales for sure.
Yeah. Mhm.
And what is the what I don't it's dropping in December, so this by the time this interview comes out, hope he's already dropped. But for
Yeah.
people that for they don't know yet, if they haven't bought it by this point in time when this interview comes out, what's the feel? What's the material? What can they expect with this with the branding and with the clothing as they walk out? What is this clothing? What type of person is this clothing for?
Yeah, so I think at first I was really just trying to like market towards a kind of like niche audience. So like maybe just like teenagers like us or like people that enter streetwear, people that are into streetwear, like even men or women. But I think I really want to try to expand our audience. I mean, for the sizes that we're gonna release, it's gonna be strictly towards like like adult men and women, but I think
Right.
we want to market it to like almost everybody and make it really accessible.
Like expand it out.
But
Yeah.
as far as material, like thick, we're a little oversized feel. We're gonna put like a little acid wash on it. And yeah, like I said, like it's just basic like screen printing, like embroidery, like all that.
And I would say past the apparel, because like I said, in coming into a brand new brand, you guys are putting yourselves tiers ahead of a lot of people's roadmaps, right? You guys are going full collection instead of just going simple t-shirt and or hoodie. And now in addition to the apparel, you guys are also trying to connect individuals to local artists in their area. What's the story behind that and trying to add that as well to the brand of SINCESIX and now making it a collective instead of just an apparel brand?
Yeah, so the thing is, a lot of like my friends that I'm actually like cool with are all like rappers. Like I don't know if you know like Low Easy. I actually saw
Okay.
my boy B Squared. So like I
Yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah, so I feel like a lot of the artists they have a big influence to like a bunch of people. Like I saw I forget what artist was, but he wore like this, I think it was Capari. It's like a brand, and he posted on his story, bro. I swear like 5,000 people just bought that same item that he posted on his story just because like the influence he has. So I feel like
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing is like networking, but like I feel like artists have like a really big like influence. So like it's cool just to like market with those guys, which is big. And I actually have a lot of marketing ideas with them that I can't leak yet, but it's gonna be cool though.
And I would say, like, what is the goal for that specific department of SINCESIX Collective? Is that supposed to be a record label, a hub? What is the overall vision for that specific
Yeah.
facet?
Honestly, I actually did think of like making it like a record label in the end, but like I don't really think that's my passion. I think it's just gonna be like I said, like I want a lot of people wearing our stuff, but like just having like artists like what they do a concert and stuff, just like that.
Right.
Or name out
Yeah,
more with that.
like even like making it its own like culture or like lifestyle brand. Like that's really the
Yeah.
end goal where people can like want to be a part of like SINCESIX. They feel like they're part of like a community. That's how we want it to be. Yeah.
Right. And I would say you guys are also participants. I know Jack that's on your YouTube page, and Ben, I've seen you on some videos as well, but this Level Up podcast as well, where
Yeah.
you guys are talking about exactly this, right? Looking and empowering teenagers, youth about mental health,
Yes. Yeah.
bettering themselves, right? Being better 1% a day. Is that also sort of where this is the manifestation physically of that theme, right? Since six, is that, am I kind of on the nose there?
Yeah, so the biggest thing is like my end goal is I want to influence people because I want them I want to teach people how to make money and like what I do. Because I feel like the biggest thing is just growing your character. Like, yes, the money comes, but just growing yourself is the most important. Like being in shape, like all that stuff. So like, my end goal is I want to build a big influence and just like help other people.
Yeah,
That's like my biggest goal.
like along with the clothing brand, we're trying to grow our like personal kind of brand too, like grow a personal
Right.
around ourselves and really try to expand our influence because like a brand can do one thing, but like we're also trying to inspire people ourselves.
And I'll say with both of you, right? Like Jack, I can already see like you in at a boardroom or a business meeting, and Ben, I can already see you designing for the most major brands out here in America and around the world, right? Is this something that you guys are looking to jump straight into now that you guys have this platform of SINCESIX, or is
Yeah.
SINCESIX kind of steering you guys into thinking maybe I do have some things I can learn in school as you guys are probably looking at college and things like that?
I'm gonna tell you something. This a lot of people like won't agree with you, but bro, if you have a goal and you have something you want to do, just full send it, bro. You should never have a plan B if you want to do business. Like a lot of people have told me, like when like I'm first of all, I'm not going to college. I'm like full focus on this business. But I remember a lot of my
Right.
family like, yo, do you have a plan B? Like, what are you gonna do if this doesn't work? Bro, if you have a plan B, you're already thinking bad about like the business you're doing right now. If you know it's gonna be successful, you should just full like put all your effort and time into it. Like, why
Well, I
would I?
meant well before I didn't mean really a plan B. I meant like going to school for business or maybe
Oh,
going to school for design. Since you're doing this, is it kind of going into your head where, oh, maybe I can now technically learn from professors and other students about business or about design? Is that kind of in the ethos, or do you guys kind of feel like you can draw some experience and education from the real world?
Yeah, like as far as like education, I think online education is almost just as good now. Like a lot of the
Right. Okay.
stuff that professors are teaching, you can learn online for so much cheaper. And like I said, like even like making connections with all these people, like how much I've learned with the people that Jack have connected me with, like like website design, all this stuff, like all these like assets and these like skills that you can learn right now, you can learn like I feel like without even an education. Like I feel like that's kind of the new wave of education.
And obviously, Jack, not to me, I didn't mean to cut you off there, but I fully agree with you. I didn't want that to be the question because I don't do plan Bs either. I always tell my kids plan 0 or plan A. That's the only 2 things I got. So, and I mean the kids I work with, not my own personal kids. I'm young myself. So, and now pushing the brand, like what is the overall vision to give you guys a moment of manifestation? What do you guys want to see 5 years, 6 years, even a year from now with SINCESIX Collective?
I want to make it like a worldwide brand. I want everyone, like all countries wearing it, make like, I feel like a big, like, actually, like, I think, what was it, yesterday? Me and him at our first like pop-up shop. It's like try to get
Nice.
people.
Congratulations.
Yeah, we have like we took this photo yesterday and we're gonna look back at it in a couple years. It's us with no one, like no one even near us. And we're gonna look back at it in 5 years with thousands of people on a pop-up shop. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, bro. Like to me, I do not care if this fails. We might get 10 sales, like nothing. I do not care. I'm gonna keep going the next time. I'm gonna make it work. Like I've said this to Jack. Like when we look in our future, I can't even see anything other than like, like being a successful like designer and like all that. Like
And I would say that's the exact mindset that I expect. And I've been interviewing people for a decent amount of time, and I feel like I can kind of notice these sparks, and that is the exact mindset that winners need to have, right? Like seeing that quote unquote, and I say quotes because honestly, that's not reality because you are getting looks even though it's physically not there. But let's say no one's at the pop-up shop. That doesn't deter you guys. That only motivates you guys to say, oh yeah, that shows we're in the room already. Just being in the room is enough, right? Because that shows that you have a place at the table. So once again, kudos to you, young gentlemen, for following your passion, following your dreams, and doing it, right? Actively doing it. So is there, and I don't want to release any cats out the bag, but the people always want me to get the exclusives. I have to. Are we already working on season 2?
Yes.
Is there, what should we be looking for? I already knew the answer was yes, and I knew it's gonna be secrets. But what can we expect? What can we expect?
I'm always designing, and like I said, I really want to like try to innovate more in this next collection. I gotta like really the only ideas I had for the other one was just like cool looking logos, but now I'm not gonna really expose anything, but I have a lot of ideas for like a certain like style that I'm gonna have and something that like can really communicate with people.
Yeah,
a lot of ideas.
So the answer is yeah. We're on season 4.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. How are you already on season 4, but you can't tell me what's going on season 2, man? Like I'm trying to give the people what they want.
Future. Gotta live in the future, man. I look in the future. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Before we head out of here, do you guys, once again, thank you for coming in and kicking with me. Do you guys have any last words? I hope this was a great interview. We definitely have to do this again, though. Do you have any last words before we head out of here, though?
I got a last word. Just be ready. That's all I gotta say.
Just be ready.
Hey, I'm more than ready. I'm gonna send my shipping address after this interview because I need that hoodie.
Yeah, just be ready.
I need the pink sweatsuit. That's what I need.
Yes, sir. We got that.
Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you for having us.
Of course. And thank you guys for coming and kicking with me. You guys can check out my boys, Jack and Ben's SINCESIX Collective, not just an apparel brand, because if you're an artist, please connect with them as well, because they also are trying to get artists on the ground, off the ground, and on the ground. You can check out my Instagram at SINCESIX Collective. That's all together, SINCESIX Collective. You can check out this interview on Instagram at the DC Voice and on YouTube as well. You can check me out at Cash.the-Analyst. Jack, Ben, kudos, congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you guys for kicking with me, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man. I appreciate it.